This is our episode for pre-E3 2015?
2015.
That's the year we're in.
You have to know the year that it is.
I don't, actually.
Jeez, way to throw everybody off.
Yeah.
Trying to confuse me. I know the numbers.
Yeah, but this is their episode for before E3. So in this episode, we're going to say a lot of bullshit that probably will end up being completely not true in a week and a half.
Well, except for all the stuff that has been confirmed to be true by major corporations, because they don't ever... Plans laid by major corporations never change.
Never.
Nope.
Never.
No.
That's ridiculous. I don't know who said that. Anyway, I'm Eddie.
And I'm Steven.
And I'm Ian.
And this is Uncommon Loot. So let's just get this started. I mean, I think we want to start off with some, like, what do we know already is going on at E3 that we care about? Yeah. I mean, obviously there's lots of stuff. IGN and GameSpot both have big-ass lists of, like, these are the games that are definitely going to be shown.
Yeah.
Hang on, do you want what we know or do you want what we care about? Because those are two different things right now.
Well,
I think let's start with the simple thing. The simple stuff that's kind of big. We know that there's going to be a new Xbox and a new PlayStation. In quotes, new.
Yeah.
In quotes.
Yeah, new like slimline, like the same way that there's
a slim line.
Yeah, there's gonna be the 1 terabyte versions of both systems.
Yeah.
Presumably announced at their respective conferences.
Yes. And Nintendo will not be talking about their next console, right, Ian?
Yes, they won't be talking about the NX or any kind of mobile anything.
Yes. So if you're thinking this is going to be a big year for hardware, well, you might actually be right, but that's something different that we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
It's not going to be new consoles, though. That's for sure.
Right.
What else do we know for sure?
We know a lot of various games are going to be shown. A lot of them I don't care about.
Yeah.
There's a few that I really care about. I mean...
Let's talk about a couple of them.
I thought you were going to be like, what we know so far is that it's going to be a conference. There will be video games shown.
There will be video games discussed. We hopefully won't have another E3 2013 Microsoft fiasco where all they talk about is football.
They will probably show trailers of video games that are going to come out far in the future. That won't look anything like what the game will actually look like when it comes out. That's probably going to happen.
My first big prediction is that at least one major company, probably Microsoft, is going to say, this is happening and you can go do it right now. Like at their conference, they're gonna make an announcement like this came out or this is gonna be a new game or whatever, and it's available now. Go download it from the Xbox Live Store.
You think it'll be Microsoft?
I think it'll be Microsoft.
It's kind of usually Nintendo who pulls that kind of shenanigans.
Know. Last year it was Sony.
Yeah,
was it?
Sony did it with what was that game where you were the flying birds with all the colors and the music and stuff?
The something that's not as good
it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And probably whatever they show this year will be the same thing. Won't fucking matter.
Yeah, Microsoft is going to drop something dumb, but it's going to be something that they're going to be like, go download this now. It might have to do with Windows 10, but the reason I'd say Microsoft is honestly just because Nintendo did it a couple years ago, and Sony did it last year, and now it's Microsoft's turn. I
guess.
Maybe. It's not the most solid of logic.
Not the most
at least
solid,
it's,
but...
I think one of them is going to do it, though.
I do agree with you.
I actually think one company at least is going to be like, go get this now.
Yeah. Do you think you have a prediction towards that, Ian?
I still think that Nintendo is pretty prone to those tactics.
Okay, it sounds like you have an idea of what you think they might do. As far as that goes.
I would prefer to save that for later. I kind of have their entire lineup penned out already.
Remember, Ian is directly connected with Reggie Fils-Aimé 23 hours a day. The only reason that extra hour is missing is because Reggie Fils-Aimé takes 3 20-minute poops a day, and during those times he turns off his phone and reads a book.
I will say there's one thing that I would really love if it was the surprise, this is ready, it's dropped out now, you can go buy it right now, which we haven't heard about a ton recently, is Galaxy. It's been said that it's supposed to come out in summer.
Oh, Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Galak-Z. You don't pronounce the dash.
Yeah.
Sorry, that might have come out of left field for some of you. If you got it, hooray. But yeah, Galaxy is a game that they said that it, at some point, I think maybe a GDC or something, and that it was going to be summer 2015, and it's technically summer already. I know because Ian's phone says it's 102 degrees outside, and that means it's fucking summer.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
fucking brutally.
if they came out and said Galaxy, go download it in the PSN store, I would immediately do that.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I would be like, I'm turning off the conference. I don't care. I'm playing Galaxy.
Well, no, we just switch it to the other monitor, and then you'd play Galaxy on the
I'd play Galaxy
monitor.
in the background.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right.
And then I'd continue watching the E3.
I'd be like, all right, Steven, let me know if anything else interesting happens.
Yeah, and then you'll probably go play it while the Microsoft conference happens or something.
Yeah.
Because that's Eddie.
So that's something that hasn't been officially announced, but that'd be really exciting.
Yeah.
I do know that Devolver Digital has a lot of stuff going on at probably Sony's conference.
Honestly, I'm wondering when Devolver Digital is going to get their own press conference, when they're going to set up their own.
So who is Devolver Digital again?
Hotline Miami.
Oh, right.
Did they publish Titan Souls?
Hotline, they did Titan Souls. They did.
They're doing Broforce.
They are the EA of independent games at this point.
At this point.
That's pretty sweet,
right.
actually. Because I remember their name sounded really familiar, and I guess it's kind of, they've just been involved with a lot of different things.
Yeah, like almost all of the big name indie games that have come out since that first Sony PS4 E3 have been published by Devolver Digital.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon we see them with their own press conference. I'm excited to see whose press conference they have the biggest presence at.
I think it's going to be Sony again.
I think it will be Sony again?
They have historically, since that first press conference, had a really high connection to Sony, and I think that Sony knows that that's a good thing for them, and I don't see any reason, like, unless Microsoft has figured it out and just paid for everything Devolver Digital, but I also kind of feel like Devolver Digital, one, doesn't need it, and two, sort of knows better than to take that kind of dirty money.
I think they would probably, I would agree that I think they like the fact that they're an independent publisher, and I don't think they want someone who's going to force their influence down their throats. Be that Sony or Microsoft or Valve or EA or any of those people.
I guess that's kind of the thing. The reason I think they might stick with Sony is because Sony has demonstrated time and time again that they're that company.
Yeah, they're just like, you can do your own thing.
I was going to say that I honestly expect all of the big three to have their hands on a good amount of indie titles this year. Like, I think that's gonna be the thing, is everyone's like, hey, we have all these indies because Sony did it and everybody liked that.
I definitely think that everybody's gonna have a bunch of indies.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, we talked about last time that Nintendo has the Humble Indie Bundle, showing, like, reaffirming that, like, yeah, we're totally all about the indies. Microsoft has been trying desperately to convince indies that they are still cool. And
well, let's talk about that. What indies do we know are going to be at E3? What have they said for sure? I know Devolver has said Broforce is going to be there for sure.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of Broforce. I'm pretty stoked for Broforce.
I am really excited about Enter the Gungeon.
What's that?
It's top-down Zelda style, maybe kind of Gauntlet style, like dungeon crawler game.
Was that trailer that you put on earlier?
Yeah, I put on the trailer earlier.
Oh, okay.
The catch is that, or the gimmick, I guess you'd say, is that because it's called Gungeon, everything is gun themed. So you might have seen in the trailer, like, the two enemies that you saw most often were bullets that walked around and shot at you, like regular 9mm bullets, and shotgun shells
I was
that ran
gonna
around
say,
and shot at you.
I got a real Binding of Isaac feel from it.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that. It's a little more pixelated than modern Binding of Isaac.
Right. Do you have some indies that, Ian?
Well, obviously we're gonna see No Man's Sky.
Do you think so?
Yes,
I mean,
No Man's Sky is on both of the lists of we're gonna see at E3. As for whether we're gonna see new information, I hope so.
Well,
I want deets.
Let's talk about No Man's Sky a little bit. Let's see. Do you think there will be new footage?
Yes.
You think there will be new footage?
I think we got to be getting close to getting some kind of release window.
You think we're gonna get a release window?
Yeah, or at least it's coming out next year.
I don't think it's going to be a next year. I don't think it's going to be a window. I think they're going to say exactly when it's going to come out.
Here's my one of my bold predictions.
You think?
I think that they're going to announce the release date of No Man's Sky alongside the release date of Project Morpheus.
And you're going to say that No Man's Sky is the first big game.
It'll
for
be the
Project
first
Morpheus.
big game for Project Morpheus this year. Before Christmas, we will see both.
Probably November.
Probably November is what I'm thinking.
November is the classic hardware launch day.
That would be pretty goddamn amazing.
That would be pretty amazing.
That would be.
I wouldn't be surprised if No Man's Sky came out 2 weeks ahead of Project Morpheus.
Yeah, but with Project Morpheus
with Project
support.
Morpheus support, yeah, ready to go.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Maybe even a month. Like you could see both, but I think what they'll show is they'll show it, and then like as they fade out, the next thing they'll show is Project Morpheus.
So
yeah.
And then they'll announce No Man's Sky.
So obviously you think we're going to be seeing a lot on Project Morpheus from Sony this year?
That's what I think.
I mean, it's time. VR is ready to go. Everybody's getting ready to launch. Like Oculus Rift has a date. Google has their like stupid cardboard thing for your phone, which supposedly is actually pretty good, but still it looks dumb. And HoloLens has been announced. Like if Sony's gonna pull the trigger on, if Sony's gonna pull the trigger on their VR thing, it's gonna be now. And you're right. If they're gonna have a big game to sell it, it's got to be No Man's Sky.
It's got to be.
That game is like tailor made for VR.
It is absolutely a big exploration game where combat is not the focus, and you can explore the skies and the planets. And
so, what if you're totally wrong and it ends up being super combat oriented and there's no VR at all? How are you gonna feel about that?
I don't know. I might be a little disappointed, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I love how much exploration it shows that it has, but the developers have already said that you're not going to see people very often. Like, you will see people, but it won't be nearly as often as in other games.
Haven't they previously shown that there is going to be like some space dogfighting going on?
Oh yeah, they've shown dogfighting of sorts.
Yeah, we know that there is combat in the game.
Yeah.
We know that there's things you're gonna fight. Presumably, there's on foot and space combat.
Yeah, presumably.
That's what I want them to show on No Man's Sky. Is I want more details about the other activities besides walking on a planet's surface, getting into your spaceship, and flying to another planet. We know that is what No Man's Sky is about. I'm totally sold on that. But tell me what else I'm going to do.
Yeah, show us the other cool little things. Like, I want to see some of the crafting systems. I want to see some of the combat systems. I want to see, combination of the things. Like, I would love to see, like, a 10-minute long No Man's Sky thing where they come in and they're, like, gathering materials. Then they take that material to their ship. They use that to craft a new piece for their ship, like a new gun.
Yeah.
Then they take their ship into the sky and use the new gun in space in a dogfight.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Just something like that along those lines where it's just a constant actual gameplay of this happening.
Yeah. And they do it on a Morpheus.
Well, they wouldn't be able to show it on a Morpheus, but show that it can be done on a Morpheus.
So you said already, the way I see it going is one of two ways. Assuming that you're right about the Morpheus announcement, I would see the presentation style is either they do a presentation showing the date of Morpheus, and then it immediately goes into, and the first game is No Man's Sky, or probably a better for the dramatic reveal is bring the No Man's Sky people out, start showing the demo, darken the stage so you can't see what's up, and then as the demo finishes, show that the person who was playing the footage you just saw was wearing the Morpheus.
That would be pretty dope.
Then that was all being played on by in VR by somebody with a Morpheus, especially because it would have given them an opportunity to show off some of the head tracking, so they can go, you're wandering around and you can see a lot of movement of the looking around and stuff, and then when you realize that was all done by head tracking, you're like, mind blown.
Or what they do, like for dramatic effect, as you said, they dim the lights, and then they see the guy looking around the cockpit, and then they kind of do a pan out, and then they turn on the lights, and they see the person in the Morpheus with their head tracking and moving all around.
Yeah.
And it goes 1-to-1 with what's on the screen.
Something like that would be a really big win for Sony right
now.
Yeah.
So here's a silly prediction for Sony. Do you think we'll end up hearing anything about the Ratchet and Clank or the Sly Cooper movies?
No. I don't think it'll be at E3. I don't think the movie stuff will be at E3.
I don't think nobody would care.
Yeah, it's not about movies. We know this. Microsoft tried to focus on other shit before. It was dumb.
I do think Sony is probably going to mention Powers, and they're probably going to confirm Powers Season 2.
Yeah, that'll probably happen, but I think it'll be such a small thing.
Yeah, I think they've already confirmed Powers Season 2. They might announce another show.
They're working on it now. Yeah,
I'd be interested to see if they do announce a second show for PlayStation TV.
That'd be pretty cool.
The other big service that they could do, and they might announce it alongside PlayStation View, which has been in beta for a little bit.
Yeah.
And are you familiar? Have you heard of PlayStation View yet?
No, PlayStation View.
It's the HBO Now, Netflix, like Hulu. It's PlayStation's answer to cord cutters. Basically, you subscribe to PlayStation View, and you get access to live TV as well as like on-demand content, basically the same way you would with like Xfinity or AT&T's Uverse service or whatever. Yep. And they have gone out to trials in major cities. I think Chicago, New York, cities. And LA.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. The big cities. 3 of the big cities that always get this shit first. So I'd be interested to see if they announce that and say that one of the big selling points is that it'll be one of the best ways to get their new show and Power Season 2.
Yep.
I don't know. That could happen.
Okay. So predictions for No Man's Sky. We're going to say probably late October release date for the game.
And November for Morpheus.
November for Morpheus?
Yeah, I can see that.
That sounds legit.
That checks out to you.
Checks out. Okay. Let's move on to another publisher. Ian, let's talk a little bit about Nintendo.
Oh, man.
Let's talk just a little bit, Ian. I know you have a list of like 16 pages. You've got an entire dissertation on Nintendo.
I feel like it's worth sharing a little bit of the behind the scenes. Each of us has kind of like a list of things that we care about, some predictions, some ideas about what we're going to talk about for this episode. Ian's page is handwritten, but it's the equivalent of tiny font, a full page of everything that he could possibly think of that Nintendo might have to do, and then like
everything else combined doesn't quite equal
it.
Yeah,
and half of the other stuff is jokes.
Everything else is like EA, Mass Effect 4, Ubisoft, Beyond Good and Evil 2, Capcom, and Konami. Disappointment.
Anyways, so let's talk a little bit. Give me something big from Nintendo that you expect to see, Ian. Something along the same lines of the No Man's Sky Morpheus.
While he thinks about that, I wanted to say I think that Konami and Capcom should team up for a press conference that is literally just
we're not making video games anymore.
No, just some Japanese guy walking out on stage and going "fuck you" and double fingering and then leaving.
I don't think that Nintendo has anything super big this year. I think that it's going to be a relatively quiet E3 for Nintendo. I think there will still be a lot of stuff, but I don't think any of it's really going to be mind-blowing.
Really? Nothing that's gonna blow our...
I think that
collective tops.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I can think of right now is that I think that they're going to detail the old Club Nintendo program and then bring in the new one. I wrote in a joke as it's going to be called the new Club Nintendo with "new" in quotes.
Damn it.
Which I really, really hope for the record, I hope
to
they don't
God
do.
not, but it's not the most ridiculous thing.
So I think they're gonna get like a a customer rewards program going on similar to PlayStation Plus and stuff like that. I think that they're going to tie that in with a virtual console and indies push. And I think that possibly at the forefront of that, we might see some big available now kind of game like Mother 3.
You think that would be amazing right there? Just simply put,
Yeah.
like a re-release or a release of Mother 3 here in the United States.
I'm just talking about the Game Boy Advance game released onto the eShop as
an actual game.
but translated.
I love Ian's like, I don't know, I don't think they're going to blow any minds, but they might release Mother 3.
Yeah, and Eddie and I are here just like,
like mind blown.
So
immediately.
I don't honestly think that will happen. I do think that there will be something like that. Maybe not Mother 3 specifically.
Ian, you're really disappointing me now.
Well, okay.
You can't say Mother 3 and then take it back.
You said blow minds.
All right.
I delivered.
There are two things that I really care about that they have already said that they're going to show at E3 that I want to know what they're going to show, and that's Star Fox and Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem.
Yeah, we pretty much already know that that's going to be on there.
I fucking love Star Fox, so anything about Star Fox for Wii U is fucking awesome. I hope that it's like a release date. Probably September would be fucking amazing.
Do you have any predictions about Star Fox, Ian?
I think it's going to happen.
Do you think it's going to happen this year?
Yeah. They've already said that it's going to happen this year. And they've already said that Zelda, which was supposed to happen this year, is not. So if they push back Star Fox on top of that, which was already going to come out before Zelda, people are going to riot.
I actually have here on my predictions that Star Fox will be pushed to early 2016. My reasoning behind this is actually not as crazy as you might think.
Okay.
Mario Maker.
Do you think Mario Maker
I
is
think
going to
Mario Maker is going to be their push for the holidays.
You think between Mario Maker and Xenoblade Chronicles X, that's how they're going to sell Wii U's it?
I think that that's how they think they're going to sell Wii U's this year. I don't think that that's how they're actually going to sell Wii U's, because I don't think that's going to happen without Star Fox. But I think that's what they think. I think that they think Star Fox will butcher the sales of the other two games, and therefore they will push it back to early fall or early winter. So January, probably.
I think that Star Fox is not going to be the big console release that everyone thinks it is. They've already said that they wanted to go in the line of an episodic format similar to like Telltale games.
Wait, Star Fox in episodic format?
Star Fox is going to be...
they did say that.
They are leaning towards an episodic format for Star Fox. If they do this, that means it's going to be smaller. They can get it out in time for holiday release, and that will also mean that they will have some kind of
season pass
bundle deal, which you will probably get on discount with their new Club Nintendo rewards program
with Arwing amiibos.
Amiibos would be pretty dope.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that we're going to see more on amiibos with a Star Fox wave and what I think is going to be an Animal Crossing wave.
Yeah, an Animal Crossing wave.
I wouldn't be surprised with an Animal Crossing wave.
To coincide with the Animal Crossing Wii U release.
Really?
I can see that.
I haven't heard anything about that. That actually is secret about Steven. I love Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Well,
and I have since it first came out here in the States.
So did you know that they released a micro direct recently about a 3DS like mini program game for Animal Crossing, which is just like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, like dress up house builder type thing.
Yeah.
Basically.
A lot of people are speculating that one, that will be used for the amiibo cards that are being released.
Yep.
And also that it will coincide with the Animal Crossing Wii U game, and it'll be a smaller part of that. Mm-hmm. I also think that a major focus of Animal Crossing on Wii U will be Miiverse.
Maybe. I agree. I think Nintendo's focus this year is going to be a big focus on DLC and DLC type things.
I think that that's honestly how they're going to start the Direct, is opening with, hey, Splatoon's out. You guys like that, right? Well, guess what? There's going to be more of it, and then they're going to get into DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've already talked a ton about already having much more DLC for Splatoon. They talk about new game mode, local multiplayer crossed with online multiplayer, being able to do proper matchmaking. All of this stuff is coming out in the fall or end of summer, late summer, early fall for Splatoon in various free updates. So, of course, it makes perfect sense that they're going to also talk about what you're going to get when you pay for stuff on Splatoon. I think that that's also going to coincide with another announcement for more tracks in Mario Kart and more characters in Smash Brothers.
Yes, I agree with that.
What I think would be amazing is one of the things that the old Club Nintendo program did was you would get points for buying Nintendo stuff, and then eventually you could spend those points on actual rewards at the Club Nintendo site, which included actual physical rewards, which was super cool because it's like you couldn't get it anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it would be neat if they brought something like that back, and then they had amiibos, something that you could go and get. Because it's like they're having such a big problem with supplying amiibos. If you could just pick out an amiibo as a reward, that would be amazing.
That would be pretty cool if they could keep up with supply.
That's the other thing is that I think that they're going to address the whole issue with amiibo and saying that they're going to be resupplying sometime.
I bet they'll say that there will be re-releases on most of their more popular amiibos as well.
Please, please understand.
Yeah, please understand.
Yeah,
Sorry,
exactly.
we didn't know that you wanted them this much. Here's wave 2 and wave 3 of the first wave.
Again,
Yeah.
Here's re-release 2 and re-release 3, and we're just going to keep selling them because you guys apparently love them.
Yep.
There's one thing that is still basically speculated on that I'm really crossing my fingers on from Nintendo, which is Ian has it written down that Retro Studios has a yet unnamed project.
Yes, Retro Studios has been working on a secret project for a while now. Right after finishing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
There's one more big Nintendo franchise that already exists that we haven't heard a lot about, and a company called Retro is a really good fit since they've already done several Metroid games in the past.
Do you think that a new Metroid is... You think it's time?
I definitely think it's time. Whether Nintendo agrees with me is a tougher question to answer, but I think it's way past time.
I think it's time for Nintendo to stop forcing all of its titles to be big AAA titles. I agree that I think it's time for a new Metroid, but I don't think it's time for a new $60 3D gigantic Metroid.
No, I think it's a
time
3DS
for a
game. I think it's a Metroid Fusion style, but with 3D elements, and
Absolutely.
I think that it's going to have... I think that it's going to be... On 3DS, it's going to have 3D elements, and I think it's going to have the parallax thing that a lot of... there's a few indie games making it doing it right now, where you can take advantage of the 3D to jump in and out of the foreground and background.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's going to be the big gimmick for the new Metroid.
So, like, Metroid Zeo Drifter.
Sort of.
That is that game, right? Zeo
I think
Drifter,
that's
I got
the
that
one
game
you're talking
right?
about.
I think so.
But that exactly, that's what I'm thinking of.
That would be pretty cool. I want to see a new 2D-ish, 2.5 dimension.
Either that or they're going to put out a new F-Zero.
I agree that it's time for a new F-Zero. I just don't think that they're going to because 200cc Mario Kart exists.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we'll see F-Zero simply because they don't want to step on their own toes with Mario Kart now, and honestly, Mario Kart's just going to crush any kind of competition when it comes to...
Now, okay, so you say that 200cc Mario Kart would be redundant for F-Zero. I think the 200cc Mario Kart might be a proof of concept for the Wii U being able to handle F-Zero.
That's true as well. I can agree. I don't think the Wii U would have any problem handling F-Zero.
It could totally handle it.
I think it could totally do it. I just don't think that, as Ian said, they would step on their own toes. With a big focus on DLC and Mario Kart stuff, I think if we see anything for a new F-Zero, which I would love, I don't want to crap on your dreams, Eddie, because I want a new F-Zero. I'm looking at F-Zero GX sitting there on your counter right there and like thinking maybe we should play that. But if they show anything, it'll be like a 30-second teaser.
Yeah.
Then they'll say, coming eventually.
2017.
Yeah,
So-
2017.
So I got plenty more to say about Nintendo, but did you want to take a break and jump to another publisher real quick, or?
Sure, because we're doing everyone is having a press conference this year, pretty much.
Yeah.
Everyone, all the publishers, and I think it's because they're coming back from everyone focusing on the consoles the past couple of years, and
Yeah.
they're just like, now we need to be the focus. We need to step up and show.
So we're used to EA and Ubisoft having press conferences, but now we've got a Bethesda one, we've got a Square Enix one. Am I missing somebody?
I feel like you're missing somebody, but I can't remember who it is off the top of my head.
Is it Capcom and Konami?
No, they're not having one.
They don't have one.
I know that AMD is doing a PC game conference.
Oh yeah, there's that. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That's why I can think of it. Is it's not really it's not a publisher. But it's a PC gaming generalized press conference. Which
Yeah. And Blizzard
know.
has said that they will be there.
Yeah, well, Blizzard's
In
going to
some
be at
capacity.
E3. Video game maker is going to be at
Right.
E3 showing their new game that they're going to make.
Yeah, right. But I guess let's talk about the PC a little bit and Blizzard. Overwatch. Overwatch is a game that they've confirmed will be there.
That
Yeah.
game looks amazing.
They've been showing it for the past year or so. Mm-hmm. I think people are ready for a new class-based shooter.
Well, we're
All
getting
Team
two.
Fortress 2. Well, we're getting 2. Is Battleborn coming for the PC?
I don't know if it's PC. It might be console exclusive, but it's Battleborn and Overwatch are clearly competitors.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
absolutely. If you look at them both side by side, they're competitive.
Whether they will effectively compete with each other is up in the air, but they're very similar. We got a new trailer for Battleborn,
And Battleborn is done by the
Gearbox.
developers, Gearbox.
Yeah, Battleborn is Gearbox and Overwatch is Blizzard.
Yes.
And I don't know. Battleborn has its own style. I think what I like about Battleborn is the variety of character models. They look like so many completely alien races.
Yeah, and they're ridiculous. And I love the way that the abilities look. Like they've got one guy with 4 hands, and each of the hands is shooting stuff.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's amazing.
It is extremely creative.
But let's keep on Overwatch because you brought that up. It's still, I mean, we haven't gotten anything new since GDC.
Yeah, it's been a little while since they've
Really,
shown new
and
stuff.
so it is time for us to get another big batch of information about Overwatch, which still does look like a really fun alternative, like a new big competitive shooting game.
Yeah, no, I'm actually pretty excited for it. I hope it comes to consoles because, unlike most, and this is gonna sound blasphemous, I don't like shooters on PC. Yeah, I know, right? But I just don't like shooters on PC because that's just not how I was raised playing shooters.
Yeah.
So I really want to see it for consoles. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
I think that it's gonna. I feel like Overwatch is gonna come to PC and then they're gonna port it to consoles. Blizzard has a history of that. Kind of an interesting thing is that Blizzard did Diablo 3 in sort of a weird roundabout way, where they put out a Diablo 3 originally on PCs, and then they put the big fancy edition on consoles, and they still haven't put the fancy edition onto PCs.
Yep.
Which is like, what the fuck happened there?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll get something like that where Overwatch is better on consoles. But
Well, I'll make another prediction here, and I'm gonna say that Blizzard will show up at Sony's press conference, right, and announce that Overwatch will be coming
To
to
PS4.
PS4, but it will not be talked about at Microsoft's press conference.
But 2 hours after Sony's press conference, Microsoft is going to tweet that it's also coming to Xbox One.
I don't agree. And the reason I don't agree is because Overwatch is free to play.
Oh.
So, which means it's going to be, they're taking the MOBA model basically for Overwatch.
Right.
And Microsoft has proven that they have
don't
a
like
hard
that.
time supporting that, though they are having Smite. And I think a big coup for them would be showing that Overwatch is coming to Xbox
One.
and not PlayStation.
And not PlayStation?
But I could see one of the consoles getting exclusive console release for that, at least for like a year.
Yeah. So I mean, but again, we were supposed to talk about the
We're talking about PC
We're
stuff.
talking about PC. I don't care that much about PC either.
We play on PC because there are some games that we absolutely love that's the only way we could get it. But
yeah,
you're right.
I
We're
care about
console
PC
guys.
as my loophole for not getting an Xbox One. So we have the big publishers, EA and Ubisoft. Obviously, Ubisoft is going to talk about Assassin's Creed.
I kind of don't think they will that much this year.
I don't
You don't-
care what Ubisoft has to say if they don't say Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah, that's the only big thing that they have
I
to
think
show me.
Ubisoft is going to do something big this year. I think that they're going to try and move away from Assassin's Creed and show that they can do something besides Assassin's Creed. I don't know if this is going to be a new IP or Beyond Good and Evil 2, but I think that this is the end of constantly throwing out Assassin's Creed.
Well, we do have confirmation that The Division will be there.
Yeah.
My question, though, is in what capacity will it be there?
Hopefully running, because we've heard a lot of, there's been bad rumors about The Division, and it's delays, and it's waiting, and maybe it's broken.
I'm worried that it's going to be another Watch Dogs, where it looks amazing, and it wows everybody, and it's the talk of the show.
That sounds like...
And then 2 years later, when they finally are about to release it, it isn't what they promised.
That sounds like Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I don't know if Syndicate is going to be a big part of Ubisoft's presentation, but I mean, obviously they have an Assassin's Creed that's coming out in fall. Obviously, they're going to talk about it.
I bet that'll be their opener.
I do think that they're going to talk about. I totally lost it. I can't remember what it had.
Well, do you think they'll be talking about Watch Dogs 2 and maybe trying to make Watch Dogs 2 what Watch Dogs 1 was supposed to be?
I think they'll talk about it. I'm sure they'll talk about it.
Yeah, they'll mention it. Of the big ones, I'm more excited about EA's for once.
I am actually too. EA has been disappointing for a little while, but they definitely have at least one game that has me salivating.
Which is
Mirror's Edge.
Exactly.
Mirror's Edge 2.
Mirror's Edge 2 I'm really curious about. They're going to talk about Battlefront,
Well, yeah.
new Star Wars. Do we know Visceral Games is making an open world Star Wars games? Is that tied to EA or is that a separate
all Star Wars
thing?
games are EA.
That's what I thought.
EA owns the rights to make
Star Wars games as licensed from Disney or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
crazy.
So that's probably going to be there at the EA press conference.
I think Star Wars will have a pretty big presence at EA.
E3 at EA's E3.
Yes, EA's E3.
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah,
ETC.
PC press conference. So that's going to be there. Who's making Mad Max?
Who's publishing Mad Max?
Why do I want to say it's like 2K games or something?
I want to say it's 2K as well for some reason.
I think so. Honestly, I don't care about it.
I don't either. I saw the movie and that's all I need.
Yeah.
The movie is like the best video game ever condensed into 2 hours and I don't have to have my hands on
Yeah,
the controller.
exactly. Like, there's a part of me that like really hopes they're going to convince me that Mad Max the game is going to be as awesome as Mad Max the movie, but it's not.
No, it's not.
The last thing that I am actually really excited to see some more details on from EA's conference is Rock Band 4 is going to be there.
Is EA publishing Rock Band?
They did. I don't
did.
see why they wouldn't.
I honestly
it
don't
again.
know who has Rock Band anymore.
Well, I know
Well, obviously
Harmonix owns
Harmonix
it.
makes it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know if they have a publisher.
But I thought
anymore.
EA was their publisher still.
It might be, honestly. And if it is, I'm excited to see new Rock Band as well. I hope they release like a bigger idea of what the track list is going to look like. Kind of give us an idea of what the songs
Honestly,
are going to
I
be.
don't really feel like Rock Band has to do a whole lot. It's going to be more Rock Band. Here's some controllers that work and are probably more comfortable, and you'll be able to use all of your fucking songs and access the entire DLC shop. Have fun.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
I'm cool with that. That's all they need.
That's kind of their deal. But I think they're gonna show more than that. I think they're gonna show how that you're gonna do a career mode. I think they're gonna show why. I think they're gonna announce at least a few tracks. Guitar Hero has been announcing their terrible track list for a couple of weeks now, and it's time for Rock Band to show them up.
Yeah, I think so.
They should do something super terrible and gimmicky and have like indie rock bands or something perform live performances using the Rock Band equipment.
Oh God.
Okay, here's something to kind of go with that. Who do you think of the publishers and who's having a press conference is going to have the most out of place celebrity spokesperson on stage for like a little while?
I think that Bethesda is going to have somebody fucking dumb come out for Fallout 4.
You think so?
Because Fallout has historically had a lot of celebrity tie-ins. They had Liam Neeson for Fallout 3, and Ron Perlman is really tied to the franchise. I think they were going to get a third person, and they're going to be like, oh man, so-and-so is going to be your dad, or going to voice the Vault Hunter, or some fucking stupid shit. Troy Baker sounded like he might be the voice of the character in the trailer that came out. Troy Baker's kind of a little celebrity. That doesn't feel out of place. I'm talking about, though, I think they're gonna get like fucking I don't know, Keanu Reeves or
it's gonna be Mirror's Edge, and the main character is gonna be voiced by Uma Thurman.
Maybe they could do that. But Bethesda has a history of way out of their league screen actors and theater actors who are doing basically ridiculous roles, like Patrick Stewart as the king in Oblivion, and Liam Neeson as your dad in Fallout 3.
So you think it's going to be Bethesda?
I think that it's going to be Bethesda. I'm not sure. Michael Caine, maybe.
My prediction is it's going to be at the Xbox press conference, but it's going to be Activision showing off Guitar Hero. And it's going to be Gene Simmons from Kiss.
No, it's going to be... No, it's not going to be Gene Simmons. It's going to be fucking Pete Wentz from Fallout Boy.
Oh, it could be totally Pete Wentz from Fallout Boy.
It's fucking Pete Wentz from Fallout Boy. And as soon as I see him walk out, I'm going to turn off the fucking Xbox press conference. I'm going to say, you have lost all of my votes for anything ever. You're done. And
you heard it here first. Pete Wentz, EA press or Microsoft press conference.
And the reason I think it's going to be Pete Wentz is because everybody that I've seen in any of the like behind the scenes footage announcing Guitar Hero Live looks like a huge Fallout Boy fan.
Anyways,
Square
they
Enix
should put Stumpy there instead of Pete Wentz, though.
Square Enix is doing some stuff,
but
Pete Wentz.
What is Square Enix doing, Ian?
Stuff. Not Final Fantasy 15.
Sad face.
Not really.
I feel like maybe they might have the Final Fantasy 15 demo with the patch like available for play on the show floor.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, probably with the patch, so you can see the updated stuff.
Yeah, I think they might do that.
They might release it on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know stuff you will see. You will see a heavy dose of Final Fantasy XIV Heaven's Ward.
Yes.
A heavy dose. Because that is due out this month, like a week after E3.
Yeah.
And you're going to see all kinds of that. But I don't think that as far as JRPGs, that's going to be the big wow thing.
I don't think it's going to be a heavy dose. I think it's going to be a really, really pretty CG trailer and then be like, all you nerds go play it.
Yeah, it's coming out next week.
As far as JRPGs from Square Enix, I feel like the biggest thing we're going to see, and hopefully see it look like a real game now, is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, that's going to be it.
I think we will see it look like a real game.
Like
I don't think we'll have
actual
any
gameplay
after
instead of these weird mock-ups.
After Kingdom Hearts 3, it's going to be Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, and Just Cause.
Well, we already know all three of those are coming out, so yeah, it'll definitely... I bet we'll see probably a Just Cause gameplay demo. Because Tomb Raider will be at Xbox.
Yeah, Tomb Raider's going to be at Xbox's press conference because it's their big, like, timed exclusive, whatever.
And Deus Ex doesn't play well on screen.
No, it's going to be...
Just Cause does.
Just Cause is going to have a big trailer. Deus Ex is going to get a little trailer that's going to be like, yeah, we're doing it. They might talk about their vague plans, rumored plans to do Just Cause or Deus Ex yearly, but I don't think that's a press conference announcement.
Yeah. Do you think they'll be showing off any mobile stuff? Because I know that Square Enix has their hands on a lot of mobile pies these days.
I think they'll talk about it a little bit, but I don't think they'll show off anything particularly amazing.
They will probably give you some numbers. They'll be like, X million people have downloaded these games and whatever, and then they're going to get one of those, like Sony likes to do with their Vita trailers, where they're just like, here's 10 things for Vita. They're just going to, like, that you get to see 30 seconds of.
I'm, like, really, really hoping that Square Enix is just going to surprise me and bring back some kind of retro title that they've been sitting on forever, and like Front Mission or the Saga series.
Front Mission would be a great tablet game, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like Front Mission would just be a perfect tablet game.
Or an awesome Project Morpheus game.
I don't see Front Mission as a Project Morpheus game.
I do, because Front Mission could be a Project Morpheus game in the sense of a less proprietary version of
Armored Core?
not Armored
Or,
Core. That big the bad
Steel Battalion?
Steel Battalion. There you go.
Yeah.
That if Armored Core played kind of like Steel Battalion, but instead of having to buy a real physical thing, you just had an interface that was in your vision, that'd be awesome. But there's one thing that Steven and I have both talked about possibly being a Square Enix's thing.
Yeah. And this, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they announce it and announce a date for it as early as next summer. And that'd be Sleeping Dogs 2.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
Sleeping Dogs 1 did fairly well.
It did really well, and it was a really good game.
And it was a great game. I loved Sleeping Dogs 1. So Sleeping Dogs 2, I think, would be silly of them not to show that the franchise is still being worked on.
I mean, people talk about open world games, and they're like, the big selling point of open world games is obviously the mixed gameplay types. And frankly, Sleeping Dogs had one of the best combinations of really good driving and really good hand-to-hand combat and really good shooting and fun like side quest missions that I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah, me too. And I never felt overwhelmed in Sleeping Dogs with the side quests. Like, there were side quests, but it's not like games like Fallout or The Witcher where sometimes your quest log is just like 50 million quests
perhaps
long.
More than anything, Sleeping Dogs is really refreshing in that it is not a white guy in New York or a white guy on a tropical island, because that's apparently super popular these days.
Yeah.
But it's an Asian guy in fucking Asia, and I could see I would love to see Sleeping Dogs in Japan with Yakuza.
Yeah, I would love to see them move on and just kind of like they just move the same character because I like the character.
Yeah, or put him in South Korea. Put him in Seoul.
South Korea. So, Seoul would be pretty cool, like a Seoul Underground sort of thing.
That'd be really neat.
But I do expect it to not be Hong Kong. For sure.
No, I don't think it's going to be Hong Kong. They did Hong Kong. They're going to move to another city. Like I said, Japan, the more I think about it, I think that Japan's overdone, and I think part of the reason they did Hong Kong was because it was unexpected and unusual. Seoul would fit that category.
I absolutely agree. I think Seoul would be
and be really
location.
Cool.
What else do we think from Square Enix? Anything else that we haven't hit on from Square Enix?
No, I think they're going to play it safe and just release the games that make money.
I mean, it'd probably be at Nintendo's press conference, but I mean, they talked about Bravely Second. And
I think they'll have it at their conference as well. It'll be smaller at their conference than it will be at Nintendo's Direct.
Bravely. I think Bravely Second will be in the Nintendo Direct, not Square Enix's conference.
I think it'll be in both. Yeah, honestly, but I think it'll be bigger in the Nintendo
It'll mostly
one.
be in Nintendo's, but like Square Enix will be like, by the way, in case you missed Nintendo's press conference, we are doing another one of these.
I guess we'll talk about. Okay, so disclaimer here. I know a lot of people that we know are big Xbox fans. I personally don't have any hate towards Xbox. I was a big Xbox 360 guy last generation, but none of us here own an Xbox One yet. And part of the reason why is because we just like the PS4 better as far as the hardware standpoint goes.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been a reason to buy an Xbox One for us yet.
And because they canceled Phantom Dust.
And because they canceled Phantom Dust. If they hadn't canceled Phantom Dust, then I would still be planning to buy an Xbox One very soon. You made me so mad. That's something that they need to do. If they do not announce that they have given Phantom Dust to another developer so that it can come out within the next year, I will stab someone, probably Ian, for bringing it up.
Are you gonna at least boycott the Xbox One?
No, I won't boycott the Xbox One. I can't do it.
You're such a fucking bitch.
Hey, I like good games, all right? And one of the games that might, and this is a key, might sway me to buy an Xbox One that could be shown this year is the new Gears of War. Gears of War 1 is what tipped me to buying an Xbox 360 before I bought a PS3. And hopefully this Gears of War can do the same thing.
I kind of don't care about it.
I'm a little distrustful because of the fact that Cliff Bleszinski is not the lead designer on it. And
Yeah.
Cliff Bleszinski, like, Gears of War was his brainchild, his thing, and since he's not doing it.
I feel like Gears of War and Halo 5 are both going to have the same problem, which is that they're two really big name franchises that people are really excited about being made by people who didn't ever have anything to do with the original excitement for them, and they're both going to be disappointing.
That makes me sad, but honestly, like, as sad as that makes me, you might be correct. I hope that you're wrong.
What's his name? Cliff
Bleszinski.
Cliffy B. You can just say Cliffy B.
Cliffy
I'm
B.
not Cliffy B.
Yeah.
I think that if Cliffy B has taught anyone anything, it's that if you attach a chainsaw to anything, people will want it. I think that as long as they release a special edition of the new Gears of War where the packaging comes with a chainsaw attached to the game package, people will buy the shit out of it.
Speaking of Cliffy B, though, here's another prediction. At the AMD press conference, Cliffy B will make an appearance and show off his new game, Project Blue Streak.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
That
too.
checks
And
out.
it won't be long, and it won't be a big peak, but he will show what they've been working on. Not only will they show it, but it will look as amazing as he says it it is.
I think that the biggest things that Microsoft is going to be talking about at their press conference are not actually games again, but they're going to be talking about Windows on Xbox One and maybe HoloLens. But I don't think like the biggest thing that holds me back from saying they're definitely going to talk about HoloLens is that I've seen it, and it doesn't look like a video games thing. It looks like a productivity thing.
I think that their conference is going to open with that, and then they're going to be like, okay, now we're going to shut up and give you the games.
I think they're going to show Call of Duty, and then I'm going to fall asleep and not care anymore.
I think they're going to show Halo 5. They're going to show their third-party support.
They're going to show Madden.
So Madden, Scalebound from Platinum.
You think I hope they show it, but I don't know if they're going to show
And honestly,
Scalebound.
I think Microsoft has kind of been leaning on Rare a lot more recently, and I think that they're going to be relying on them this year.
Well, they're going to show Battletoads.
They're definitely going to be showing Battletoads. They're probably going to have more DLC for that fighting game that Rare made that I actually never played.
Killer Instinct.
Yes, that one.
That's the
I
one.
never played it. I think they're going to be doing that, and then I am praying to all the video game lords that there's going to be a Banjo-Kazooie release.
Yeah, honestly, I really want the Xbox to wow me this year because I want to own one. I've owned every console by 2 or 3 years within the generation, but this time there just hasn't been a convincing thing to have me get an Xbox yet.
There's just nothing to care about.
I think that Microsoft has kind of learned that they need games, and they were trying to show that off with what is it, Sunset Overdrive. How much they've been having Rare do more stuff for them. Like, they know that games are important, and I think they're going to be bringing their, well, probably not A game. I don't think they have an A game, but they're going to bring their B+ game for sure.
Their B+ game.
So we're running a little bit out of time, so I want to move on to the last of the big three and talk a little bit about Sony and what we expect from them beyond just Morpheus and No Man's Sky.
Yeah, those are obvious.
And what we're excited about. Obviously, they're going to show Uncharted because Uncharted.
Because Uncharted, yeah.
Like you said, they're probably going to show Morpheus, but I have two things that I think are probably going to show up at Sony's press conference. Actually, three that I think are going to be tied to Sony's press conference, even though they're technically probably going to be multi-platform.
What's that?
I'm really excited about. I'm going to start with the least excited I am is MGS5 is probably going to be at theirs.
Most likely, yeah.
Phantom Pain is probably going to be at Sony's conference just a little bit. They're going to have another demo of some different location, hopefully.
Do you think Kojima will be there?
Probably.
You think Kojima's going to show up, really?
He hasn't shown up to anything.
Now that you mention it, I think that you're right. Kojima's probably not going to be there, and it's going to be really noticeable.
He didn't even show up to that Game Awards show in Japan, where it's like practically mandatory that you show up and highly disrespectful that you don't.
Well, I mean, he's probably pissed at a lot of people. So I think they're going to show that, and I think it's going to be super awkward for everybody. I think that they're going to show the new Destiny Taken King expansion at Sony's press conference.
Do you think they'll Do you think that they'll announce that they're going to keep going with the exclusivity to Sony?
Maybe.
Like the timed exclusive stuff?
I think that if Sony is smart, they will have locked that down as a competitor to Rise of the Tomb Raider, and we're gonna get, like, just as the Xbox gets the previous exclusives, Sony's, as soon as Xbox gets the stuff that Sony has had for a year, Sony's gonna have new stuff that they're gonna have for a year.
That would make sense, to be honest. I mean, it's not like Destiny hasn't sold like crazy. It did sell very well.
Exactly.
People are still consistently playing it.
By the way, I want to get back to the Metal Gear Solid 5 thing real quick. Is I think that they are going to call on Kojima, and everyone's going to be like, please welcome Kojima, and there's not going to be anything, and then all of a sudden you're going to see a Zone of the Enders box start crawling around, and then Kojima is going to lift it up and appear out of nowhere, and then give his speech about Metal Gear Solid. That's what's going to happen. And then the Zone of the Enders box will be a little nod to
Ian,
it's gonna happen.
Ian, I'm having a crisis right now.
Stop
I'm having a crisis right now because of the Zone of the Enders box.
Stop it.
This is a
literally
problem.
Your job for this podcast is not just to make Steven and I sad. Like you're here as a contributor, not a depressor. Like we can do that on our own.
It's gonna happen.
I hope to God it's real. I hope to God nothing would make me happier than Zone of the Enders for PlayStation 4. But the other big thing that I'm actually kind of excited for, despite the previous disappointments, is Dark Souls 3. I think it's going to be at Sony.
You think it's going to be at Sony? I think it'll be at Sony too, to be honest. We'll see though.
From Software is clearly good buddy with them, and with Bloodborne, and I think that Dark Souls 3 is going to be multi-platform, but I think that it's going to be at Sony's conference, and I think that it's going to look a lot better than Dark Souls 2.
Okay. Now I think...
Go ahead.
You have something to say? Go ahead, Ian.
I was going to say, I wanted to finish off my Nintendo stuff.
Go ahead and finish off your Nintendo stuff, and then we'll finish with a round of just speculations.
Okay.
Eddie's had a hard time with those,
yeah.
so hopefully he'll get some inspiration from the talk that we've been
I was going to say, like, when making this list, I noticed that Nintendo actually already has a good amount of Wii U games in the pipeline, and I was not noticing a whole lot of 3DS games, and I did a little digging, and I remembered a couple of things. Monolith Soft has actually been working on a 3DS game since 2013 that has been unnamed. We know nothing about it, and I think this is going to be the year that we see it.
That would be pretty sweet.
That'd be cool.
I have a 3DS that I don't use very often.
Yeah. We're gonna be getting more Fire Emblem if details, I think, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like for Wii U, we'll get Mario Maker, Yoshi's Woolly Worlds, and one thing that I haven't talked about yet is the Nintendo World Championships.
They're gonna happen. They're probably gonna have Splatoon and Smash and Mario Maker.
I think, and this is kind of a crazy prediction, that they will have an all-new game that has not been revealed yet, that they will reveal specifically for the championships, and I think that's going to be Nintendo Land 2 or Nintendo World.
I'm sorry, Ian, but I don't care about Nintendo Land. I don't know how many people do. Like, I want Nintendo to come back up, but that would not push any systems. Like, that's not going to sell anything new for them. Like, I need them to do something.
No, but I do think that the reason I think he might be right about Nintendo World, and it might be more exciting than it seems, is Nintendo World or Nintendo Land 2 or whatever they end up calling it might be the vehicle for the release of a full quote-unquote version of those 3 games that Miyamoto showed related to Star Fox last year. Remember, he had the giant robot game and the Project Guard game and Project Guard and Project whatever, and there's 3 games, and I can't remember the third one.
Project Giant Robot, Project Guard, and something else. And I think that they've said before that those are going to be real games, and I think that would be a good vehicle for it.
That would, actually. You're right. Release a show, let people get their hands on it.
I think I also think that Nintendo kind of knows how you're thinking about this right now, and then it's like, well, this doesn't sound very impressive, and I think that they're like, if we're gonna have this game, we need to show that it's impressive, and I think that having a bunch of people play at the tournament and play this new game, it'll make it exciting because it'll be like never before seen. All these competitive players all of a sudden playing this brand new game, and they'll be like, "Oh man, that was really fun. This is really interesting stuff."
That would be pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, a new IP.
All right, well, look, we're overtime already, and we're going to go overtime again next week when we're actually talking about all of this stuff that actually happened at E3. So let's just bust out. Steven,
right.
what's your biggest fucking bullshit nonsense prediction that you think is never going to
Biggest-
happen, but you hope for it anyway, or you're whatever?
Biggest one, actually, is I think that we are going to see Yooka-Laylee be at Sony's press conference this year in a small playable form at Sony's press conference.
Oh man, that's super funny because I think that's going to be on the Nintendo eShop for sure.
Yooka-Laylee?
If it shows up at all. Remember, it's only been in development for like a little while.
You think it would show up on Nintendo's? The reason why I say Sony's, and then this is following logic, Banjo-Kazooie is probably going to be shown this year from Microsoft. Mm-hmm. Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Mario Maker, all of those platformers are being shown from Nintendo, basically, or are on Nintendo consoles already, and they don't want to cannibalize their sales there. But there's not a new Ratchet and Clank. There's not a new Crash Bandicoot. Yooka-Laylee's a darling, and Sony has been really good about courting people from Kickstarter.
That's true.
I believe that you will see, if you see Yooka-Laylee at all, it will be on the big stage at Sony.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe. Honestly, I really don't think we'll see Yooka-Laylee at all.
Well, that's the biggest question.
That's the biggest question, is when will we see it?
Will we see it? And I think the answer is probably no. Their Kickstarter ended like 2 days ago, or
But they
is it-
already-
No, it's
they
still
already-
going.
it's still going.
It's still
They
going.
already have a trailer, though.
Yeah,
They've already
but-
got a trailer. I bet they have a prototype gameplay that you can run around a small area.
Oh, they definitely
Maybe,
do.
but it's not going to be exciting enough to
No.
show at E3 press conference.
You don't think so?
They're not going to have anything that would top their already existing Kickstarter trailer.
Ian, what
Ian, you got a big one?
Aside from my Mother 3 release, I got a couple of hopefuls. Aside from Beyond Good and Evil 2, which I still want, I'm really, really hoping that we get Mario Sunshine HD. And
You think we're gonna get it? This is not a what you hope for. This is what you think. A bold prediction that you think will happen.
No, I know he's got reasons for that. It's not just out of nowhere.
What?
One, I think it's going to be running off of the same engine that they use for Wind Waker HD.
Right. That sounds feasible.
Which is part of the whole reason why that game exists, is to create a working lighting engine for those kind of games. And also Mario Sunshine is the perfect summer game. I think that
I agree with that, actually.
this is a total long shot, but they could potentially be like, we have Mario Sunshine HD. It will be out in August at the latest.
That would be pretty sweet at like $40 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all they really need to say. You got a bold prediction finally,
Okay,
Eddie?
so my last bold prediction is one thing that's it's been confirmed that Platinum Games has an unconfirmed game that they're going to be showing at E3. I think it's going to be at Sony against Scalebound. I think that Sony was like, hey, you guys suck.
Stop them.
Give us a game too. If you're gonna give Microsoft a game, give us a game too. And I think it might very well be another new IP.
Really? Okay.
Platinum has enough talent that's got a lot of good character action ability to build two different new IPs at the same
I
time
agree.
and
I
be
think so.
really creative with it. And Sony has the money to pay them to do that.
I also think that Scalebound probably has the B team.
Yeah, Scalebound's probably the shit team at.
We'll see. I hope it's not. I hope it's great, but I think honestly you might be right with the Platinum game prediction. I got another one. And this probably may or may not be a surprise to most people. Fallout 4 was announced about a week ago. It's coming out this year. It will be out November.
You think November?
November of this year. It will come out shortly after Call of Duty.
That's what I'm
way.
saying. It's going to be announced with a stupid celebrity.
And it'll come out this year. Like that is my lock, basically, is that Fallout will come out this year.
Yeah.
And they will announce that.
And it's going to have... this celebrity appearance is going to be a bit part. It's gonna be a huge fucking celebrity that they paid $10 million to do 10 lines for one scene in Fallout 4, and they're gonna make a huge deal out of it.
That's silly. Do you have another one, Ian? We're basically just rolling through our speculative predictions.
No, I think I said basically everything on my list.
Yeah, we've gotten through all of our stuff.
All right, then I'll go with mine then. There will not be a new IP from Sony or Microsoft publishers this year.
Like, not their original stuff.
Original Sony or Microsoft-owned publishers. There will not be original IP from them. Not
Yeah.
saying that there won't be from other studios. I think there will be from other studios. I just don't think Sony or Microsoft will show off anything new.
Oh, wait,
Right.
I did have one. Do you think we'll see Deep Down for Sony?
Probably not.
No.
But I
Really?
hope so.
Is it just missing in action?
Kind
Yes,
of.
I think
it's
so.
like Last Guardian right
Yeah, I was
now.
gonna say Last Guardian. Bold prediction.
That's on my list. We will not see Last Guardian or Shenmue 3. We will not see either of those two titles, and go ahead and add Beyond Good and Evil 2 to that list to be real sad, but most likely you're not seeing any of those.
Probably not.
If any of those do show up, though, expect a huge nerdgasm all over the internet. Everyone exploding in their pants.
You know what I just realized? If things are done right, Sony might have the money to buy the license. And Kojima has left Konami, probably, essentially, and is the right type of mind to fit in with Platinum Games. I'm changing my story. I'm still going to do the Platinum Games story is going to be Sony. I think it's going to be Kojima is at Platinum after Metal Gear Solid, and the game they're releasing is probably going to be Zone of the Enders.
No way. They wouldn't do it.
Crazy out of bounds prediction.
That's
of all
the out of
time.
nowhere. That's my fucking out of nowhere.
Kojima is no longer working there.
Kojima
Sony
left
has
Konami
purchased rights to
to
Zone of the Enders from Konami.
exclusively, and they're going to have Platinum Games make it.
And they're having Platinum Games make it with Kojima at the helm.
That's not gonna happen, but that's great, Eddie. Good job.
That's good stuff. That's some good
High
stuff.
five.
Done.
And on that prediction, I think we'll go ahead and call it.
Yeah, that's going to be the end of it.
Let us know in the comments on the YouTubes or what else are we on?
YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. Tweet at us.
Yes, tweet at us at
Uncommon Loot still.
Yep, at Uncommon Loot. And let us know what you think about our predictions. Are they insane? Do you guys have any crazy predictions? We're going to talk about how all the ways that we were wrong on the next podcast, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably.
We're probably just going to gloss over that and talk about what actually happened. And
Yeah,
just,
most
if
likely.
It comes up, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. We may also have a guest next week, but we're still working that out.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye again.
Bye.
Happy E3, everybody.